presentation. Thank you, Ricardo, too. I can summarize my recent works as an amplification of the viewer's psychological bubble at the scale of the public sphere. To do so, I'm proposing something I call unstable monuments, which are large-scale media installations that can be changed by the passerby agency. So, soft conflict, that means software conflict, it's a problem that occurs when two programs cannot run in the same computer at the same time. Typically, when two programs compete for the same resources, memory, peripheral device, and register. Soft conflict might be also seen as a position that should not be very strong or violent. In psychology, a conflict is a condition in which a person experiences a clash of opposing wishes. In my work, I can say that the spectator, the viewer, can experience this clash because he wants to interact and have some contemplation, but he cannot do both at the same time. So, I will show you some work. I think that let's have the no, it's stopped. Okay, this is TAC. It's an interactive picture where people can interact with the image of the face. So it's a soft conflict between the viewer and the picture. Like David Luckedy says, interactivity is not about control, but about encounter. Here it's about encounter and also about control. Strangely, the pleasure here it comes from control of a face. Sadistic. Here it's another installation. It's an indoor installation. Has been made in the National Library of Quebec for a special event. That was the opening where people are too many to interact properly with the piece, but they are doing something else that didn't expect. They are playing soccer or football with the letters instead of stay quiet and try to make words with the letters. But it was fun to find that they are fighting for the control of the floor. So here the letter flow in the staircase as a liquid, as water. And if you stay quiet, you can see letters that can stick to you and to make words, and then also a book title. This piece was inspired me to the lecture of Luis Borges. He did a lot of novel about, not novel but short story about strange books and libraries. Sometimes you can destroy or steal the title from somebody, and you can try to conquer the space of the other viewer. So sometimes the letter can follow you in the staircase. This piece is Apporte souffle in French. It used the human breath to animate the video image. So the piece is kind of a link between cell phones from passerby and the advertising infrastructure you can find in the electronic big billboards. So it's a way to link people with the public space in a way, a space that you cannot reach if you're not a big, often you cannot reach that space if you're not a big company that can pay for the access to these billboards. So it's a link between a personal device and a public device. I can say it's a soft politics intervention because I'm letting people to feel that they can control something bigger than them. So the monument is not something that will intimidate people, but something you can go into it. You can control this monument. So people can share the air on both meaning, the air that has the rhythmic waves, but also the air like breathing. So this is another piece that uses the viewer's breath, it's brainstorm. I did it for the Montreal Biennale, and the topic was chance. So they asked me to do something with a computer, an interactive program to make a random structure that people can transform with their bodies, the intimacy of their bodies. So the topic was inspired by the famous poem from Stéphane Mallarmé, Coup de dé, jamais n'abolira le hasard. It's a very famous modern, maybe the first modern poem. So he asked us to play with this idea, and I bring also the philosophy of Jacques Derrida, who used words and make collision with daily life words to make special concepts. So we can find the most famous was construction, destruction, and he made shows hybrid words like tropic, catastrophe, and you get catastrophic are liquid and oblique, and you have oblique. Of course, you have to understand French to understand the merging of words. So here the conflict is coming from collision of concepts that can merge or destroy other words, other concepts. So it's a storm. A storm where your breath is amplified to make a storm in the space surrounding you. Some maker can bounce on the real architecture that is the projection of the projector. So the next piece it's not already done. It's a simulation for my next project. I want to project an interactive projection on the design building at my university. So we have access to this big screen to make projects. And I will use, again, cell phone, but I will make the interaction different depending on how many people will use it at the same time. So again, it's a soft conflict. So your agency is a bit violent on the image. So if you achieve, you will have three characters that shift from one to the other. It's strange how we can find funny to be violent in a way. So you understand that the idle mode will show people that feel post-traumatic state. But at the beginning you don't understand why they are there and why they are in that state. Sometimes they are crying, other times they are they try to breathe because I shot the people after the blow of massive air on their face. So after that they are very traumatized. So it's not they are not playing, they are just trying to recover. And then when you interact, you understand that you are the agent that make this traumatism. So the name of the piece is Tourmente. That means two things in French. That means a sudden and a violent storm, but it means also on a psychological level a state of great disturbance or confusion. So it's important to show that kind of faces in the public sphere, because often we think that it's a safe space, but this is a space that we can see people struggling too. So last summer I organized a seminar, but without any lecture. It was a seminar based on negotiation. I invited people that were not prepared to do that. It was an improvisation, so it was interesting to see what happened with them, how they can think live without any preparation. So I will show you this kind of trailer of the event. It's about public art and media.
Take away the colon, put it down once, do a return, and then make that much smaller. There's a danger with this question. So this is going to be the first time we talk about technologies.
I mean, just the use of new technologies doesn't empower people necessarily.
Maybe technology is taking too much place there.
Yeah.
What would be the role of artist or designer in creating conditions for people to communicate through the city, through the symbolic environment, already meaningful in some ways?
What I write, what I work on, is always about the phenomenon before the new technology. It's not necessarily that they're not already empowering themselves in some way by using new technologies either.
For me, technology is more or less a synonym of everyday life now.
I think that's true.
And also, we're not talking about just applying new technology. We are like, as artists or like creative people, you want to find new ways of using technology.
Out.
I proposed to Hexagram to lead a research session on urban media and public art through an unusual process for us, which is a collective writing of a manifesto done through an open negotiation.
The best words to describe from where I'm thinking and how it works is two words, which are resistance, which resistance and modulation, which has a material implication of how I engage things, but also has a very strong social and political dimension to it.
So I try to be useful in creating conditions for those who are less visible or less known to open up and develop their capacity to communicate through the urban environment. But saying this, there are various ways I try to do it.
I have been working on these new kind of platforms, including mobile, public sphere, urban screens. So that kind of experience helped me to understand better idea and alternative idea of approaching audiences.
My work has mostly been around movement for the past 10 years and thinking about how political theory would look different if we thought of movement at the core of notions of the body, of experience, of perception. So always crossing.
This term of temporary usage is very important for us. That's kind of how the activities of public art have always been, like the temporary invasion of public space. Where we work from is the idea of empowerment. How can you empower people to be a part of the city, to create a city together?
The kind of philosophy I try to practice is oriented toward process and toward notions of potential. It requires not taking a stance of judgment or even description, but rather aligning the thought with the design and triggering of events.
I don't develop projects in one city. I travel a lot. I take full advantage of my mobility and strangeness. But each time there is we, because without others, there's no way to work with people. You have to gain the trust of those who already have some trust among those groups in order to create something surprising, rather than something that they would immediately like and want to have. To learn maximum and surprise. But for this you need to have trust of those who are trusted.
So you can see all the session, the full length of the session on the Vimeo channel of Hexagram. So it's very easy to find. Just write Hexagram in the Vimeo search engine, and you will find maybe 4 hours of discussion. Also, you have a 2 hours conference who Christa Bodichko did to show his work from 20 years almost. So it's a place to think about what we can do with urban media in the public space as art. So it's I think it's a new problem that will raise because we have more and more infrastructure that can display electronic images, are making those images interactive. So we have to think about that. We have to think that it's not only for advertisement, but also for the speech, public speech, a fearless public speech for people that can tell what they are living or that tell what they are thinking. So we have to work to open those places, those infrastructure to normal people, and not only for big company or the state. So it's not easy, but some people are trying to do that around the world now. I think about Connecting Cities initiative. You can find it easily on the web. So let's try to do something with it. So thank you very much.